was tortured for days before he gave up any names.
Early on the 5th of November, Fawkes was brought into the king's room under armed guard. He refused to give any information beyond his name being Johnson, and that he worked under Thomas Percy. Further non-torture-based interrogation revealed nothing but his xenophobia. Asked by the king about his treason, Fawkes replied that a dangerous disease required a desperate remedy. King James wrote in a letter on November 6 that the gentler torturers are to be first used unto him, et sic per gradus ad mai attenditur, and so by degrees proceeding to the worst, and so God speed your good work. Torture was against English law, unless specifically authorized by the king or privy council. So that morning the torture began. On November 7, after hours of strenuous torture, Fawkes broke some and confessed his real name, and that the plot was confined to 5 men. King James wrote, "He told us that since he undertook this action, he did every day pray to God he might perform that which might be for the advancement of the Catholic faith and saving his own soul." Finally, on November 9, he named his fellow plotters, after hearing that some of them had already been arrested. There's only one place in the UK that doesn't participate in Guy Fawkes Day.
The Cellar Fawkes tried to destroy caught fire years later anyway.
Parliament is a huge building, but the infamous cellar where Fawkes had planted all those barrels has not stood the test of time, despite the cellar being where the man was caught, and the whole tale begins. Ironically, considering the means of destruction, the entire cellar was destroyed by a fire in 1834.
He's still the face of political protest to this day.
It started with writer Alan Moore and artist David Lloyd's graphic novel V for Vendetta. It soon became a symbol on internet forums, and soon after that it was picked up the hacker/activist group Anonymous as their symbol. Project Chanology and the Occupy movement have also employed it. It wasn't long until the Guy Fawkes masks was the worldwide symbol of anti-government and anti-establishment. David Lloyd allegedly seemed honored by it. The Guy Fawkes mask has now become a common brand and a convenient placard to use in protest against tyranny, and I'm happy with people using it. It seems quite unique, an icon of popular culture being used this way. My feeling is the Anonymous group needed an all-purpose image to hide their identity and also symbolize that they stand for individualism. V for Vendetta is a story about one person against the system. We knew that V was going to be an escapee from a concentration camp where he had been subjected to medical experiments, but then I had the idea that, in his craziness, he would decide to adopt the persona and mission of Guy Fawkes, our great historical revolutionary.
Guy Fawkes was named one of the 100 greatest Brits of all time.
Fawkes tried to blow up British Parliament and fought for the Spanish against the Dutch. But at the end of the day, Britain realized Fawkes' heart was in the right place and that he was fighting for the country in his own way. He's even been dubbed one of the greatest Brits of all time in some reports.
He went by an alias during the entire plot.
Guy Fawkes, Guido Fawkes, and John Johnson. During the famous gunpowder plot, Fawkes went by the name John Johnson. When he was initially captured, he swore this was his name, though eventually broke under torture, confessing his real name.
He avoided being hanged by jumping from the gallows.
Every year, thousands burn replicas of Guy Fawkes on Guy Fawkes Day, but he was actually never burned or tossed in any sort of fire. He was sentenced to be hanged, drawn and quartered, as was consistent with the times. But Guy Fawkes didn't plan on dying on someone else's terms. He escaped the capital punishment right before being lynched and leapt from the gallows, breaking his neck. He died instantly, but not by being hanged. The conspirators hatched the plot in a pub. The plot began a year before it was carried out. There were 13 conspirators in all, but back in 1604, original 5 Guy Fawkes, Thomas Wintour, Jack Wright, and Thomas Percy met at a pub in London called Duck and Drake and hatched the plan.
He didn't always go by the name Guy.
Most people have heard the name Guy Fawkes, whether or not they know who he was. But from roughly 1603 on, during and after a trip to Spain to fight for the Spanish and all through the gunpowder plot, he actually went by the name Guido Fawkes, the Italian version of his name. He allegedly preferred the way it sounded and the cultural impact it carried.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.